Ooh, cha. Ooh, cha. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Ooh, cha. Ooh, cha. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Ooh, cha. Ooh, cha. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Ooh, cha. Ooh, cha. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Ooh, cha. Ooh, cha. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Ooh, cha. Ooh, cha. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Hey, Jay Parrish. Thank you for letting me know you can hear me. Hey, Lady Dimples. You been good or not? Probably not. Ooh, cha. I haven't been on here. I think the last time I was on here was my birthday. And that was last Sunday. I had a good time. Hey, yeah, I had a good time. I've been around here, the YouTube streets, area, and right now I'm in a little downtime. It's the house is quiet, so I said, let me get my ass on here before they start acting up in these streets tonight. Uh, it's been a lot of stuff going on. I think we're gonna have another bloody weekend. Um, it's looking like that, you know, in the beef sector, and it's looking like that in the Mo3 beef sector. Now I don't know what the black sector is looking like, because I really haven't been over there since last week, but I haven't heard anything out in the streets that anything major was going on over there. So I've been hanging around in the beef sector and the Mo3 beef sector. And let me get my notes. Hey, Kim B. Hey, Mob Ties. Let me get my notes, child. And let's get caught up on this. Well, we have a new poll in, and it was a pretty quick process. I thought it was going to take longer, but they did it in like less than 2 days. Um, Everybody seemed to be pleased with this guy. He's the first American that has ever been um, a pope. Um, just a second. I want to make sure I say his name. His name is Cardinal Robert Provost. You know, that's the name he had before he became pope. And when he became the pope, he chose the name. Let me get it because I don't want to say it wrong because I don't want to make anybody mad. That's of the Catholic religion, but I'm not Catholic, but I know people that are Catholic. Now my daughter know a whole lot about it. The Catholic religion, but I don't know so much. Let me make sure I get it right. Leo the 14th. That's the name he chose, so that's how he'll be. Everybody be saying Pope Leo the 14th. Okay, and that's about it for that. And the other day I was watching, news and stuff about, things that's going on in the world. And a lady and her husband, they were out kayaking and they was in two different kayaks. And child, an alligator pulled her into the water and she did not survive. And like the game and fish people, they have a special for the alligators and in Florida. And so they killed one, shot it. But then it was another one, like after they left with that one to take it to the examiner, uh, there was another one that was in there aggressive, so they had to come back and get that one too and shoot it because they want to make sure, to see if that's the right, or if those two, if that was the right one that attacked the lady. And they said they were going to be looking for clothing and like flesh in the belly. And I was saying, damn. And they also said that the place that she was canoeing with her husband was not kayaking with her husband. That in March there was an attack on a lady in March, and she had arm injuries, but it didn't lead to the death. And I was saying, Jesus. And so then, of course, that had me looking at our alligator stuff and alligator shorts and alligator everything. And I said, Lord, people, let's stop looking at this shit. It ain't going to get no better. So I quit looking at it. Then bear attacks was coming up, and I was saying, shit, I should have never even put it in. After I watched that, the first one about the attack, I should have just stopped. Because some kind of way I got in that algorithm, and it was taking me like all kind of attacks. And I was saying, oh, Lord, my God. But I think I'm finally out of that, that cycle on here because I haven't been seeing anything else come up. But that's the way it is for me. Like if I look at something that I haven't had no interest in looking at, but if I happen to watch it, it winds up coming on here. That's why I don't go over to Instagram and Twitter, because I only get naked men. And I said, Lord, I can't do this shit. Oh, and now I got a little friend on here that I won't go into that. Okay, I just won't go into that. Okay, I just stop that talk. I almost got to talk too much, girl. His contest is this June the 7th. It got changed from like the end of May, and he changed it until June the 7th. Now, Duke Pharaoh is talking about having a meet and greet, and so far he's kind of scheduled it for June the 2nd, but he don't know like if it's going to be charged or whatever. He don't. It's just an idea he's floating around with, and he seemed to want it on June the 2nd. Child, I bet that's going to be a mess. Do you hear me? Okay. Now you can't make me believe it ain't going to be no mess, cause he a mess. And Duke, the way you been calling out people, they gonna turn your meet and greet out. Oh Lord. And I will be tuned on YouTube, okay? And guys, I told you that Lady Gaga had the biggest concert by a female artist in Brazil. Was it in Brazil? Yeah, I think, yeah. And she made the record for the highest female artist. And I thought that was really good. And it was like over 2 million people in attendance. And that's a lot of people. But the concert almost didn't happen, come to find out, is because there was a bomb threat. And They went on and let it happen. But see how crazy people are. They started calling them bomb threats, and they said it was some kind of hate group that it was. They took responsibility for it because some of those groups they like to say, "Yeah, we did it." We bad it. And they let them know they hate group. And I thought that was something. And child, they trying to be a Cosby, Smokey Robinson, child. Some women have said that he was sexually like you know, had them in a hostile work environment. Some of them accused him of RAPE, sexual harassment, all kind of bullshit. Child, they trying to be a Cosby, that man. And he almost like 84 or something like that. Now he ain't got. I just want to see if he go to court or whatever they gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Um, the last count it was 4 women. Okay. Well, child, they trying to be a Cosby. All the rest of you guys that's black actors and actresses and musicians and um, basketball players and all of that kind of stuff. Hey, y'all need to, be careful of your surroundings. Have cameras everywhere so these people can't say you did nothing to them. Cause y'all live in these big mansions and shit. Cover yourself, okay? If you got maids, have more than one, and don't be in the room with them hoes or them niggas, okay? And that go for all of y'all. Protect yourself because you guys know you have family, and that shit is embarrassing. Like to be 80 some years old, you somebody grandpa, and it come on the news that you've been accused of RAPE, like you some kind of pervert. So please, God, anybody that's hear me that's professional any kind of way, athlete, singer, business owners, y'all protect yourself. You know, you're the only one that can do it. Okay. But child, I say, now look at Smokey. And then he be doing a little routine on his concerts now, because it kept coming up in my shorts. But I had seen him do it before. He be doing like the snow grinding and stuff, holding his microphone, and be saying, "Yeah, baby, you can get it," and all that kind of stuff. Lord Jesus, don't let them play that in court when you go. Okay, Smokey. But you gotta just tell you was acting for the crowd and all of that. You wasn't really meaning people could come and get it. Damn, I'm through with that. Okay. Um, Let me see what else. There was a school shooting in Chicago a couple of days ago. They had the school shut down. And see, on that story, I forgot to go back to it to see if anybody was actually injured. But all them cars and stuff, and ambulances and stuff, I think it was something, pretty bad that happened. But like I said, I don't know. We'll just pray for the victims if there were some. Another thing that happened is Diddy, his trial started. They doing the jury selection right now. And the first day of the jury selection, he got real nervous in court and he asked the court, like, "Hey, excuse me, can we get a recess? I need to use the bathroom." And the judge was like, "Are you okay?" And everything else. He was like, "I really, really need to go." I don't know if he had to use the bathroom because some people, you have to pee or boo boo or whatever. And some people throw up, when they get upset, because I've done that before, got upset and throwed up. And they say his hair is graying because they are not allowed dyes and things like that in the jail. And so he's like salt and pepper. His hair is salt and pepper. Now they not having the cameras in there. And I really hate. Well, I can understand on the jury selection part, but hopefully on the trial when the witnesses and stuff start going up there, I hope it's it's live and stuff. But I don't know. if it's gonna be live. Um let me see if I got anything else. So that's it for that part. Yeah, that's it for that part. Oh well, no one thing I got to say now. A couple of days ago, I was at Lemons, and Mr. West had a camera slip, and he tried to act like it didn't affect him and stuff. But child, he was shook up. You hear me? And then when I went over to the Mo three sector later on, I got through with Lemons. The captain, of course, somebody had got in touch with him. He said he got like hundreds of emails coming through saying that Mr. West had the camera slip. So he went over there and he clipped, he said he clipped it out from Lemons. So he would have that for his records. And he played that music sometime to put pictures of different people up there. And he had Mr. West, but it don't show his whole face. It's like half of the face, and he's like a dark brown. Now I don't know why come he think he yellow. Nigga, you is dark brown. And quit asking people that bullshit. You are not nowhere near yellow. Damn. And then he gonna confront Lemon the next night and was saying, why you sending that stuff up to the Mo 3 beef sector? Nigga, they did nobody send that over there. People, that's when you had that camera slip before it went off, people already had shot that. Because Lemon don't have it where you can't read about it. So don't be blaming Lemon and nobody else. Because anytime people have camera slips, if it's a pretty good one, they all over even the bad ones, they all over the sectors, as soon as you do it. So he when it was trying to talk that crazy ass shit to Lemon. And I was saying to myself, now Lemon, don't you sit up here and fall for that shit. But Lemon didn't fall for it. And another thing, Lemon, you are so goddamn hard headed. But I ain't telling you no motherfucking more. I don't give a fuck what happened to your page because I've tried to tell your crazy retarded ass this. Now I tried to be nice over there in Discord, but I'm on my own motherfucking channel and I'm gonna talk how the fuck I want to talk over here. Now I told you to keep boo ass off your motherfucking panel. I looked up there last night and hear her black ass sit at the beginning of the motherfucking live. And you remember I told you that girl put the camera between her motherfucking legs and showed her PUSSY for 30 minutes over there on what is his name? Soul, what is his name? That Soul Player channel. Because he had went somewhere like you be leaving your channel sometime off of your panel and going to the store or going to smoke or going to do whatever. He did that and left Woo and Gina up there on his panel arguing. And because you didn't stop Gina from arguing with her black ass, because Gina was getting the best of her, she pulled her panties down and put her camera between her legs, wide open on her coochie. And I told you what she had done to keep her off your channel. And she had her black ass sitting up on your panel last night. I ain't gonna tell you no more about her. The ball is in your court. You do what you want to do. But y'all, when she put that camera down between her legs, she was laughing and was talking about strike, strike, shit like that. P-bomb, strike. And she had 30 minutes to do it, and she had the motherfucking fool like she liked to act. Okay? So I won't tell Lemon anything else concerning his channel. She's already P-bombed him twice. Let her go on and do it again. I don't give a fuck. I ain't gonna say another goddamn thing. Okay? Because he know they out to get it. He know they out to get it. To strike him out. Okay. Hey, Nicey. Hey, 3,000 degrees. Woo did that. Woo put the camera between her legs. Hey, the young filter Muffy. That's who did it. Woo nasty ass. And I told him to keep Gina off his pedal. But I ain't telling him no damn more. Okay? I ain't telling him no more. Yeah, I looked up and there she sit last night. I said, well, I be damned. You should have held your you should have not said nothing like you did, but you keep doing it. And I'm not gonna tell him no more. I don't give a fuck. Hey, Peaches. And who wanna see somebody ussy on the screen for 30 minutes? Huh? Soul player, she did on his channel. It was up there until he come back from doing whatever he was doing. Okay. Hey, blessed. Hey, blessed to be a blessing. Child, bye. I ain't telling him nothing else no more. Nothing. My lips gonna be zipped. You hear me? Hey, watching from cloud nine. You can be what you wanna be on cloud nine. Hey, no love. Yeah, had her sitting her black ass up there looking like a goddamn man. He with that motherfucking fake eyelashes on and lipstick. Looking like a monkey ass. Hey, you ain't nothing but a born dog. Howling all the time. Yeah, you ain't no friend of mine. Hey, Lattimore, let's straighten it out. Let's straighten it out, Lattimore. Hey, Sky Sweezy. Trying to make sure I spoke to everybody, child. Jay Parrish, I had to get you again because I be forgetting you, child. I don't like to do that. Then I get back into my commentary, y'all. Well, I'm gonna just talk about this here while I'm looking to make sure I got everybody. Deanna Irvin, Drug Rodney, and this. Ooh, if y'all want to see some dragon, I shared them. I shared Deanna live. I shared King Roman live. I think I shared Rodney live too. Because I was watching Rodney and he started dragging Deanna. And I was saying, wait a minute. Do he know what he doing? She's an assassin. That's why she named herself Verbal Assassin. But hey, Rodney, you jumped off in the deep end, baby. Okay. He had his little stuff to say, and I said, "Ooh, Rod, do you know what you're doing?" Well, honey, Deanna went live and drug Ness. Okay, drug her bloody. I mean, bloody. She drug her for old and new. Okay, and she been letting Ness get back with them that slash shit she been doing. Saying slash shit at the side of her neck to people like she was doing me. Well, she was up on King Roman's panel. And she'd love to reach down in the chat and say shit to people, try to embarrass you. You know what I'm saying? Talk that shit while she up on the panel. When she was on the panel, she called out Deanna. She called out ZX, J Dawn. She called about 5 people, y'all. James Caldwell. She called out about 5 goddamn people. That's the fun guy, because she said that Stefan had not been back to her channel, which I don't blame him, because y'all remember he had sent James Caldwell $10 and they grilled him like he had did a murder over there on her panel. Ness, Dory, Shaquille. It was about 5 of them on it for donating $10. His own money to somebody. But I can say this for Stephon. He did tell him, I do what the fuck I want to do with my own money. Y'all ain't gonna tell me what to do with my goddamn money. And then he said the same thing over there on Pizarro's the next day when they were asking him about it. He said that he spent his money how he want to, which I understand. But he did go by Ness's a time or two, but he stayed in the chat. He went the first time he went over there. Yeah, he stayed in the chat because Ness say kept telling him to hit the link. And I was saying, "Lou, I hope he don't hit the link because she gonna tear his ass up." Well, I think he bought a membership or gifted a membership or something that night. And then another night I seen him over there and he just stayed in the chat. He didn't hit the panel. But see, he could have been over there lately because see, I ain't been over the Ness, so I don't know. Because she's not my favorite anyway. But I would go over there when I didn't have a whole lot to talk about over here on my live. I would go over there and peep in, but I ain't been in the mood for, going to her channel, period. Okay. I just ain't me can't be bothered, like Lemon say. But she called out on people out on the panel. My bit boom 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 called out like that. And so Deanna hit the panel and Deanna drug her ass. And then Gianna will shut up and let her talk. They were going back and forth like that. But then I think Jadon came up there, ZX, because she called him out and he cussed her out and she cussed him out. They was cussing each other back out, back and forth. And then, of course, he left and went live because, that's how he get his content. Go on somebody panel and cuss somebody out and then run his channel. Well, he did that. And then she had put something in the back chat for King Roman. I don't know what it was. That ain't none of my business. But they had a little back and forth in the back chat. Whatever she wanted to talk to him about. Well, Jadon, that's why she ran up there because she wanted to take a snapshot of the back chat, and she couldn't see the stuff that was put in there before she got up there. But after that, she could see whatever they put back there and stuff. I don't know why Jadon's so nosy and so sneaky. Okay, but that's on Jadon. She do what she want to do. But honey, Gianna drew a Ness from her ruler to her tutor. And I shared that live. And then she came back because I don't think she listened to Rodney's, but somebody must have peeped her that Rodney had something to say. And she drug the shit out of Rodney. Do you hear me? She drug him from sea to shining sea. And Rodney feelings get hurt easy. Rodney, I don't know why you went after Deanna. Because Deanna gonna drag you. Well, she might just lay out for you because she know that she might say that you just didn't know what you was doing. But I would hope that you would leave her alone. Just cause this get into it with somebody. Don't jump in that shit. Or you gonna jump into some hot water. Okay? And allegedly the stuff started out over there at Rick Reed's, but that's a live of Rick Reed's that I missed of Ness being on his panel with him. But that's why I heard it started it. This big blow up. But like I said, Ness have been getting away with shit for years, talking to people sideways and get up on the panel and say whatever she got to say real fast and jump off. And one thing I can say about her ass lately, she been sitting her ass on the panel because something must not be going good in the whatever the name of their people, the finesses. Some must not be going so well for her to be sitting on the panel and then calling people to come up there so they could confront her, and saying that crazy shit to you. Because most people don't even go up there when she be talking that shit. But if people start going up there bombarding her ass, she'll stop that bullshit. Because that's the dumbest shit. Sit up there and cussing folks and shit. People gonna chat. They gonna put what they want to put in the chat. You ain't got to look at it when you're sitting on the panel. But most people do. Or they lie like they don't look, but they look. But you don't need to be cussing people out. And especially the people that don't never hit the panel. What you cussing them out for? The more of those people have started coming on the panels, and I'm glad of that. Stand up for your damn self. But honey, Deanna said she done let that bitch get away with too much, and honey, she got to her up to here thing like I did with that fuck face because that's why I started my channel because that dumb shit she was doing to me. Crazy hoe. Oh my God. Let me stop. Oh Lord, let me get my notes. Hey, Brick Girl Haley. Hey, Benz. I got all off damn track just did. Y'all, Lord Jesus help me. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah. And then I am so sick of that money talk about who giving what and all. That is so dumb to me. And I really hate that. And another thing I'm thinking, like because the beef sector, they love these contests and stuff. But the way they questioning people for giving their money to who they want to give for the contest, people gonna stop donating to that bullshit. Okay? But I don't give a damn because I don't participate in the shit anyway. And I don't watch the shit. Only time I watch it is when they have like the Halloween thing. Like I watch that live, but all them other contests, honey, I let the thing get over. Then I go and see who won. And if it's something on there I want to see, I'll look and then keep going. I ain't finna sit up there that whole time and watch that shit. Somebody cooking something I can't taste and all that kind of bullshit. But they're gonna have people where they don't even donate. You see what I'm saying? That's what's gonna happen because they're gonna say, "Hell, the way they hard did such and such," and she donated, and they won't ask her why you didn't give it to me and why you give it to her and why you give so. I ain't. People gonna stop. They gonna they hurting themselves. Hey, tales about Diesel, but they hurting themselves, and therefore, if you hurting yourself, you're hurting the beef sector. Therefore, you're hurting the other people that might have contests after you. You know, and it ain't like Lemon gonna keep that little $1,000. He's donating that, and he donating his own 1,000 to make the pot bigger. Because right now I think it's like $2,300, and it'll probably be more than that. After the live he did last night, and if he do a live tonight, because they got to June to donate. Ain't no tell how much money he might wind up for that contest. Okay. Hey, Jill's comfort zone. But I think I think that's kind of putting a black eye on the beef sector a little bit. And I hope that they pull back on that because, like I said, it's gonna make the people scared to donate because they ain't gonna want to be. To me, you shouldn't be questioned about what you do with your own goddamn money. But I wouldn't answer no questions. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, if they did me like that, I'd say, "Bitch, what the fuck you know, the fuck? Who the fuck you think you is? You know?" And I think if people start cussing them out and talking that shit back to them, and don't be saying I can do what I want to do. I can do what the fuck I want to do with my money. You know what I'm saying? You got to put some cuss words in there sometimes. Because some people don't get it when you try to talk to them nice. I can do what I want to do with my money. No, you say, motherfucker, I can do it what the fuck I want to do with my motherfucking money. And put some more F's and M's and SOBs with it. Okay? Ooh, and then they try to blame like that TSW lady. Well, you don't need to be getting on the panels. Why come the hell she can't get on the goddamn panel? Why she can't get on the panel? Everybody else get to be on the panel. Everybody else talk about what the hell they want to talk about. Why she can't get on the panel? And why they saying that like she had a stroke. So what, she had a stroke? People have strokes every day. Some people live, some people don't. Some people have good sense after the stroke, some people don't. But most of the time, you're gonna still be able to function. You're gonna still be able to work. Cause the lady work. She still got a family. She got a husband. got kids. So what's the goddamn problem? And if she did have a damn problem with her brain, is that gonna stop her from getting her money away? I'm just saying. But the woman not crazy because you can hear, you can hear background. People are there with her. People are moving through her house. Okay, so ain't nothing wrong with that woman. And why y'all making excuses about her? Why? Who right is it? If she did have a stroke, who business is it? And if she couldn't take care of her finances, her family would have taken care of that by now. You could bet that. She might have one good month she could throw away some money, but you could bet it won't be no two or three. Okay? Because this thing's for that. That's why they have laws. That's why they can have it where you could take over somebody's finances. You're gonna, you be the executor and stuff like that. Or the person can't, I'm not capable of doing finances. It's situations like that all over the world. But I don't think her family gonna let her give all her money away. They can't make me believe it. You know, like I said, she might have one good month of that, but after that, no. Mm-mm. Life don't work like that. Hey, the South Memphis show. Okay. Now, y'all, let's get to the nitty and the gritty. Like this, I got that from Big Baby. And Big Baby is supposed to be a judge on Pizarro dance contest. Now, I don't know if they had it already. I don't know. But I haven't heard anything out in the streets like they had it. So I don't think they had it. But, she a judge on there. And I wish they would leave the shit alone about Dragon being a judge on Lemon thing. The girl is excited about being a judge. Why don't y'all lay off of the motherfucking girl? She don't want to participate in the talent show. The girl is grown. She don't want to participate in the talent show. Lemon asked her to be a judge, and she want to be a judge. She excited. Let the girl have that kind of pleasure. Damn. And she ain't gonna be the worst judge that ever been on a contest. And then she might be the best judge we ever had. We don't know. Give a girl a chance. And if she mess up, then you can say she messed up. But look, he's supposed to have 5. So one of them getting messed up. It's 4 other people gonna be judging. It ain't gonna just be her. If y'all get dragging a hard time, you need to give the rest of the judges a hard time too. I think it's something wrong with all of them too. Because ain't nobody perfect. Why Dragon can't be no judge? Why y'all so messing with the girl like that? Would she get upset and be hooping and hollering over there at Lemons and all of that? Leave the girl alone. Don't say nothing about the judging no more. Let the girl is excited about being a judge. Can't she have something to be happy about? And they're trying to make her be a contestant. She don't want to be no damn contestant. Okay. Let me see. Now we're getting ready to get to the sector news. Let me scroll. Now, some of this stuff ain't gonna be in order, okay? On how it went. So what I'm going to do, we're going to go backwards. We're going to go start in the present and go backwards because I got notes for several days, and I'm gonna give y'all the fresh stuff while it's fresh, and then we'll just go backwards to the older stuff. Okay. Now this is what Deanna was calling Ness when she drug her. She called her a nasty bitch, a rotten ass hoe, and then I'm not saying everything she said. I'm just giving the highlights. That's all I'm saying about Ness. And then she got Rodney. She said she don't know what the fuck wrong with Rodney. You know, and she was calling Rodney and Ness dope fiends. She don't know why that, he starts with her and she don't know why Ness started with her. But she say they need to both of them need to find somebody else to fuck with. Okay. And she said that Rodney got outdoor furniture for his house, like in the house. Now I don't know because I ain't never seen the inside of Rodney's house, but she's saying he got like patio furniture, for his house. That's what Deanna said. Now, like I said, I don't know what Rodney's house looked like. And she was also telling him that if he go to a glory hole, that she would be in there waiting on him. She'd pull his lips through that hole, and she say she'd take a dildo and stomp it through his throat. Okay. Now that's all I'm saying on that. All right. Okay. Now we going to Lemon. He had Conscious Energy was the first one to hit the panel. He was Conscious Energy was up there. Then Dragon was up there. Lolo came. Wu came. I'm just giving y'all a lineup. An attorney called Holstein, in which that is audio. He was playing like he was a lawyer and he had a white man picture up there. It was kind of funny because he was saying he wasn't audio, but it was audio. Malik was up there, Lady Snoop, Happy Life, Beans and Cornbread, Queen Sanity, Natural Love Diva, Ken, Sipping Socialites, Mika, Mr. West, Queen, King Kong Tulsa, Sharika Chicago, Sour Patch, Cannabis Queen, or Queen Cannabis, whichever one say that. Binary, Resto, Tea Lounge. Okay. See, that was he had his panel stayed, somebody was on there all night and they were talking about a whole bunch of different things. Let me see. And Lemon was saying that he's gonna have a meet and greet. Now he don't have no location. He don't have a date. He was just throwing it around. And different people was telling him different states, and the places he didn't want to go, he said, and the places he, might consider it, he said, it was like, yeah, nah, I don't want to do that one, and all that kind of stuff. And they did that for a while. I think he'd have a good meet and greet. And I think he just need to do it, Well, I'm not gonna say because he's grown, he could do what he want to do. Okay. Oh, and that attorney, the Mister, what was his name, Kogerstein or whatever, he said that they were gonna do a Don Rico on J Don. Now this is acting. This is not for real. He said he was gonna be for revenge porn, abuse of death benefits, because she using death benefits to get them sex machine toys and things like that. Uh, Wait a minute. And he called it a horsepower sex machine. And we were just laughing and stuff. And Jadon was in the chat last night at Lemons, and he invited her to hit the panel, but she didn't ever hit the panel. And I'm glad you didn't go up there, Jadon, because honey, audio would have tore you up. And then Lady Snoop hit the panel, and she said that she was tired of getting timed out or blocked, and she was saying that she was at corn beans and cornbread was doing it. And so beans and cornbread, she got up there and she said, "You damn right I did it." She said, "Because you was talking crazy to me. And when the time you talk crazy and anybody else talk crazy to me in that chat, I'm going to time your ass out." And Snoop and her got into it, and Snoop, they left off the panel. What Snoop did and kept, that's when Beans and Cornbread kept talking that shit, okay? And so she dropped down. And before Snoop left, she said she'll be back because her phone was cutting in and out because she was driving. And she said when she got home, she was going to let Beans and Cornbread have it. Okay? So, yeah, the Beans and Cornbread said that she was going to keep blocking and tamming them out. If they, just she want to be left the F alone. Okay. And then she was telling Lady Snoop to pull up to the Bay Area. Because both of them in California. But I'm assuming that Figures and Cornbread lives in the Bay Area. Now I don't know what area that Snoop lived in. And King Kong Tulsa was calling Dragon because see different one was saying stuff to her to get, and she was getting upset and doing all that hollering. Beans of course, I mean Tulsa, King Kong Tulsa called her a crackhead, and Dragon said, "Bitch, I ain't no crackhead. I don't do drugs." And ho, you the one is the crackhead because you got, it's proof of you, and plus it came out your own motherfucking mouth. Watch what you say to me, ho. And I was saying, "Get out, Dragon," which is the truth. How she gonna call Dragon a crackhead and she's a proven crackhead? And then this came out on Lemon's Lab last night. Somebody was messing with Lemon about Queen Cannabis, okay? And Lemon just said, Resto was in the chat saying stuff. He throws some shit out there about Queen Cannabis. And so Lemon say, "All right, since you're going to bring this shit up, I'm going to tell what really happened." And I said, "What?" And come to find out, Lemon do have Discord. Now, I was in there sometime, but I don't be in there a whole lot. But this is some of the times that I wasn't in there. But Resto was like running the Discord. And see, I didn't know that till last night. Because see, before Jadon was running it, she had made a mess of it. And so allegedly Resto had a little power over there. And he blocked Queen Cannabis out of the Discord. And then because he was he said he was gonna talk to Lemon about it, but he didn't talk to Lemon about it, kicking Queen Cannabis out. Well, some Queen Cannabis, I guess somebody she was cool with, went to Lemon and said, "Hey, uh, Queen Cannabis is blocked out of your Discord. Can you talk to her and maybe can you let her back in?" That's how Lemon found out the woman was blocked out of his Discord. Like when people come up missing out of there, he don't think that you done got blocked out. He think you just don't want to be in there. And I can understand that because Shit, I got in the Discord on Lemma Discord when he first started. Like when he first dropped the link to this Discord, I joined. Now I didn't go in there a whole lot, but the times I did go in there, when I would see something funky, like when J Dunn was doing all that shit, and I told him on his live that there was decisions being made on the Halloween contest in his Discord that he wasn't aware of. That's that's when I was going in and out of it. Well, I had not been going in and out of it forever, and I just started back going in there. And like the people that's in there right now, kind of cool, I could deal with them. But you know, it's just all right. You know what I'm saying? It's just something to do. Well, he let Queen Cannabis back in there, and then Besto didn't say when he found out when Lemon found out about the blocking out of Queen Cannabis out, he said when he brought it up to Resto, he said, "Oh yeah, I meant to tell you this and that." No, he didn't mean to tell you this and that. She ain't the only one he probably done blocked out your shit. But I'm sure you went through and opened it back up for those people. But I'm just saying he have to be careful on shit like that. Now, to me, on the people that do have control somewhat in his Discord, if they blocking people out of his Discord because it's his, they need to let him know. Like shoot him a text or something. But they say you can leave messages on the Discord. Put them on there. You know, that's all I can say because I ain't gonna tell him how to run his Discord. I ain't telling him nothing like that. And like I said, I will not be telling him when I see problems on his YouTube channel anymore because he showed me that he don't listen to not nothing I say. Now he might listen to somebody else, but I won't be addressing that anymore with him. Period. Because see, I just told him about Wu the other day in his Discord about what she did. Because I kept forgetting because I did a live back here and told you guys about it. And I said, if I forget, y'all remind me to tell him. But when it was fresh on my mind, when I went in one of his lives, as soon as I went in there, he was going off. And somebody, messaged me in the chat that don't forget to let him know. But see, he was going off by that time. So, like I said, I did my part and I won't be doing that anymore. I'll just have to let him figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Because I know some people you don't need just to, it's wasting your breath. Okay. So, like I said, I ain't got no hard feelings or anything like that. And so I gave y'all that little stuff. And another thing, like I don't discuss things that they talk about in the Discord when I'm in there, but I tell you this here. A lot of that shit that be going on back there as soon as it go on, it come out here on YouTube. I've noticed that. So that's all I got to say about it. But Paulette didn't tell nothing to come out of there. Because the reason I'm talking about that resto shit, which I didn't know about, was because it was happening on YouTube. So, it happened on this live last night, child. All right. Let me see. And then I did tell you guys about Ness on KRNs. That she hit the panel and she called out Stefan. She called out Deanna, Grown Folks TV, and James Caldwell. And she said that Stefan was her mod and she wanted to know why come he hadn't been over there. She acted like dumb. And she said, that he used to come to her lives, but he don't come over there anymore. And Deanna got real nasty with her drags on her, which she needed to. She told her about them pus bumps and all that kind of stuff. Because, see, she had broke out back in the day. Ness had broke out and talking about how she had these big old boiled things on her. And she said when they were bust, they would stink and all that kind of stuff, child. She would tell us all kind of stuff on her life and on these panels, child. Okay, I told y'all about what Jay Don did. About trying to be nosy and look at the back chat. Okay, and I think that lady's natural diva or whatever, natural. She drugged ZX. She was telling him he was too old to be talking the nest like he was. Cause honey, he drugged the shit out of Neil. If y'all want to see some good dragon, make sure you go over there to King Roman News. I think I shared him out too. You can look on my community wall. But King Roman do have good lives. But see, I've been missing a lot of his lives. And the reason I went to this one is because his name was kind of coming up because for some reason they've been telling them and he's scared of King Roman and all of that. But when they do that kind of stuff, they be trying to put a battery in your back, you know. And I'm glad Lemon catching on. Now that's one thing I'm glad that he's doing. Because I don't think he's scared of no King Roman. Because really, don't nobody on here need to be scared of nobody. Because either you can cuss them back out or just ignore them. You know, that don't mean you're scared of a person just because you ignore them. And ZX, he drug Ness really bad over there at King Romans. Okay. Now I went to Bimps yesterday. Max got bought down. Eve got bought down and back up. Eve and Catty Kitchen was into it. And Eve was into it with Royalty. Wait, no. These are the people that was on there, on the panel before the night was out. Eve, Catty Kitchen, Royalty, Payday, Jackie, Mink, Skoka, Duck, Miss Beauty, Duke, Pharaoh, Blackout. Those are the people that was on there. Snapping Turtle and Creed. Those are the people that was on there. And so Gina got her a new fella, okay? He's a younger guy. And she been dragging him all over YouTube. And let me tell you what they've been doing. Now, this wasn't on Bimps, but since I called her name and since I was getting ready to talk about Gina, I'm letting y'all know she got a younger man. He's dark brown skinned. And the other night on DG's, now I'm gonna tell y'all what him and Gina was doing on DG's. They say he was putting whipped cream down the under, and they was licking on each other and all of that for cash out. They say he was sticking his fingers in her hoo-ha. He was sticking Twizzler, them long candies. He was sticking them up in her booty and eating. So he is nasty, okay? And then he was bragging, I can't think of who panel it was on. I'm putting in days of information what I heard on Gina out here in the streets. He was bragging on somebody panel that he had made $90 for the Gina and him doing them different sex acts and stuff on live. Well, my nose ass had to go look and see if I could find them. They're not here. They, Don DG took them down. I know he didn't want to get flagged that they were acting like that. And I didn't go to Gina channel because they say she was doing some things over there. But I lost interest. It was like me can't be bothered. I believe everything they saying because everybody was saying the same thing, okay? And some people was adding to it, some people was taking away from it. But the main thing is they was doing sex stuff, nasty stuff on live for some change. And he was bragging about getting He made $90. Now he's supposed to be gonna start him a channel. I can't think of the fella name. I didn't write it down because I don't give a damn. Because man, you just met this woman and she got on you on here acting like a fool just like she be at. So it ain't much to you. And then they was talking about how she be begging for money, and they said that she was using dishwashing liquid. You remember I told y'all the other live that she was begging for money because she had blew her income tax, and she was begging for money for toilet paper and stuff like that, and frozen burrito so she could cook them in her room in the microwave. Well, she it did 357 has said that she like when she pee as big as she is downstairs, it take a roll of toilet paper to wipe, and I be hollering and stuff, child. Oh Lord Jesus. Well, him and her supposed I mean, she's supposed to be helping him with a YouTube channel. And he seemed to think that he gonna be the greatest thing that ever happened on YouTube. Okay. He think he gonna be getting all kind of money. And they asked him what was gonna be his content, and he said it's gonna be gaming, and I think wrestling or something. I can't remember exactly. I might have that over in my notes later on, but they've been hitting panels together. They've been all over the about 3 seconds. You hear me? So we'll see how this works out. I think they've been together I don't even think they've been together a week. So we'll see how it goes. And she calling everybody hoes and uh, tramps and everything. And she ain't got to meet no man on the internet. Well, hell, you went down there on whatever street they start with an F that the prostitutes and shit hanging around on and got him. And it looked like he ain't got nowhere to live because he be at your house all the time. Well, your dad's house. He be, that's where you stay. So I don't think it's a whole lot to him. Well, in the dragon that she have been getting going on these different panels, child, it come out that out your body. Now I heard she had gave that man $2,000 for his channel. Now she didn't have control of that channel but about a month or maybe 6 weeks, and now out your body got it back. Okay. Well, another thing I noticed that out your body and her had got to be very chummy about 2 months ago. They was going to the casino together. He was coming by her house and shit. And I was saying they ucking. But they were saying they wasn't ucking. Well, child, come to find out. Now, I didn't know this here till yesterday. Gina had lied like she was pregnant by that man. And I was dead. And I say, Gina, old as you is, you lying about a baby? Child, bye. I didn't know that, honey. What the old hoes up here lying like they pregnant? That's so ignorant. Child. But I think that Gina might be still can have babies because sometimes she be talking about periods. So I don't know for sure she can, but she be throwing it out there like she still has cycles. I don't know. And if she want to get pregnant, if she still can have cycles, then more power to her. Okay. I know I ain't want to get no. I ain't want no baby. I don't have cycles. I don't want y'all to even think like that. Okay. Now I'm gonna tell you this here. Now, some older women do still have cycles. Like my sister, my oldest sister, she had cycles until she passed. She never did stop. And I used to tell her, girl, I would die, but she was just used to it, you know, but she never did stop. Okay. It just depends on the woman. And see, that's why some older women, when people think that's a lie, really do get pregnant. But I don't wish that on nobody. And I know people, I know personally women that have gotten pregnant and they've got grandkids. And all their kids is grown. They got kids. And they got caught slipping up, got pregnant. Them be them older women that still have cycles. Okay. But I don't have them, honey. And when I did have them, I was taking that what you call it thing they put up in you. The thing they put up in you and that made me not have cycles, okay? And before I had that, I had the Nora plant, okay? And I didn't have cycles, but sometimes I was spot. And then I had tried before that, I had tried the shots, and I did not like them at all, period. Because I stayed on my cycle like most of the month. And I'm saying, this is not for me because I don't like this kind of shit anyway, okay? So then that's why I was, quit the shots and I went to the Nora plant, kept that, then because they could make, letting people use them. And then I went up to the other thing that they put up in you. And so I had, you know, had cycles for years and years and years. And it was due to the birth control, but then it changed to, when I got the last thing taken out, I told the doctor to put another one back in there because I did not want a pregnancy at an older age. And the woman told me, she said, well, Paulette, let's try this. Uh, we're not going to put you on anything right now. We're going to try, nothing for like 2 months. And then you come back and we'll talk. And so, that way she knew I wasn't going to have, after the 2 months, no more cycles. She asked me, do you have any spotting and all that? And I was saying, no, I didn't. And she said, well, if you do have any, let me know. And I haven't had any. Everything cool. Now I need to go to this door because I heard somebody blowing. I'm gonna put y'all on hold for a second because it might be my great grandbaby. Thank you guys for holding. That was my yard man. We needed the key to the storage. Huh? Let me speak to some people. If anybody came in, hey, Sour Patch. I think Sour Patch was the only one that came in. Hey, DC Kool Aid. Okay. Hey, a viewer's a view. Girl, viewers a view. I don't think Rodney know what he was doing by reaching for Deanna. Because, she make the biggest of them cry. But I've been enjoying Deanna. Honey, she been dragging to the gods. Do you hear me? She been dragging them up to heaven and throwing them back to earth, girl. Ooh, she been dragging. She been dragging the hell out of Ness and now Rodney. Her last laugh today was about Rodney. I was hoping he would squeak by, but I knew somebody was gonna tell her what he had said. uh, he on his own. Well, if he don't know how Deanna is, he'll learn. He is no match for her. You got to know what you're doing when you tackle her, cause that woman, honey, she can she can drag. Hey, the bushes. Yeah, she can drag. If y'all haven't subscribed to her, it's Verbal Assassin, and I shared her out. You know, if you never experienced Deanna, honey, she's an OG of the beef sector, and she ain't nothing nice. She's what she said something the about Roddy coming out with two pistols. And it was, honey, y'all need to go hear her. Oh shit. Them two pistols he got, honey, them ain't good enough for her. She don't know what he come out there shooting his little pistols for. Roddy, she gonna have you running there jumping under the bed, child. The booger bear comes up in the kitchen. I'm gonna enjoy seeing this. I want to hear Rodney what he got to say to Bob. Rodney, you better come out right. Come on out here. It ain't time to complain and whine. It's time to get out there in the middle of the yard, honey. Hey, Renee. Yeah, it's time to get out there in the middle of the yard. You can't sit in the house on the mama no more. You call one of them big girls out. So you're going to get out there. You got to get out there in the middle of that yard. This referral link thing keep getting up there. Maybe it won't come back up because it take up all your screen just about. That referral thing. Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, take up half the comments. I don't know why they got that thing in the way like that. Okay. All right. Let me get back to my notes, child. Yeah, honey, Deanna, she all the way out the porch, honey. But Deanna having fun though. Okay, that's enough about Gina. Okay, now Eve, honey, she was up there and she got into it with Royalty, Craig, Callie's Kitchen, and she was calling Callie Kitchen a fat slug, be a bitch. She called her slouchy, blubber butt, roly poly, and said she looked like the Michelin man, built up like the Michelin man. And so Callie, that this is what makes Eve mad, because you know DG is her man. And so all Callie was saying is, I'ma suck DG dick. Ooh. Yeah, she said she gonna be fat when she suck his dick. And I was hollering. And she was saying, DG ain't your man. He everybody man. So she know the things to say to Eve to make Eve go on and on, okay? Oh Lord. And Eve, she was into it with Mink, and she called Mink a Chucky doll looking bitch. And Mink just really wasn't in the mood to drag her very much. She was just saying, "Girl, you think you something because you got a new mic." And Skoke Honor said that she had been in a car accident and it messed her, like her teeth. She said her teeth went through her chin and it broke like her jawbone. And she said that everybody could just call her jawbone from now on. And she said on May the 20th, she's going to the dentist and they're gonna like she gonna get all her teeth pulled out. And she said, teethless horse, y'all mount up, honey. So she's happy she getting her teeth done. And Jackie was up there and she remixed the song uh about this Let's Make Love in the Bando. And she did her own version of that. And everybody liked it. I liked it too. And she said, because Gina was up there and she told Gina that her new young man, he got a unibrow. You know, the eyebrow that goes straight across. And she told her to shave it, get a razor and shave it. Now, I didn't look at it that hard, honey. I don't know if he got a unibrow or not, child. Duck and Mills got into it. And Duck wanted to know why Cummy Mills always talking about his dick. Because he talk about Duck dick all the time. And I don't understand that either. Why these niggas talk about his thing all the time? And then Mills was into it, everybody. He won't never shut up. He talked the whole time he on the panel. And last night they didn't like buy him down, but they were buying him down for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, stuff like that. And then sometime when Bimp would tell him to shut up, because he would drowning out everybody on the panel. And if he wouldn't shut up, he would mute him, and then he would keep bringing himself off of mute. Then he would put him backstage, for a while. Cause really, when he be on one, he be on one. And y'all, he was eating some spaghetti last night, and it sounds so nasty. Ugh, he don't never need to eat on while he on a panel again. You know, he should have got out the panel for a couple of minutes, cause he ugh. And when him and Jackie was into it, she was calling him a dry scalp ass nigga. And she said that he top his head so bald, it looked like you could spit shine it. And I was laughing. And she also said that she wasn't effing nobody on no floor. She said that she got a big nice bed in her house, which she do have a nice bed. And she said she got money for a motel. She ain't gonna sleep on, have sex with no man on no floor. And that Max person, their name is Mad Max. Trying to get up to see what they said. Let's see. Uh, and it's a lady named Danny was up there, and Emil's had pissed her off like early in the live. And you talking about she was raising hell the whole live, honey. But her mic was one of them kind that you could still talk over her. You know, you could hear other people their conversations and they drags because honey, they put on mute and she wouldn't realize she was on mute for a long time, and then when she would realize it, she would take herself off mute. But when she was on mute, she never did quit cussing. You could still see her mouth moving. And I was hollering. Do you hear me? So between her and Emil's, they was a hot mess on the panel last night. And I've seen Danny in the chat last night was the first time I ever seen a Danny person on the panel. And I'll just have to check her, kind of just keep an eye on her and see what she like. And Emil said, Danny said that because they were talking about Duck sitting on the toilet jacking off. And Danny said, if he want to beat his meat, he can beat his meat as he is the beat. And why y'all making so much out of it? She said she was tired of hearing it. And I am too. I'm tired of hearing them talk about my boo. You know, the men and the women talking about his thing. That's all I'm hearing. Maybe it'll blow over. Okay. And a lot of them mad because Jackie and him are still cool. She didn't fall out with him and stuff. And Mad Max and Duck got into it, and she was calling Duck a fat mouth motherfucker. Oh Lord. And Jackie said she ain't never effed in a bando. Uh, Snapping Turtle and Craig, cause Duke hit the pound, Duke Pharaoh, and both of them, cause Bimp and Duke was talking about how Duke was calling people out, pull up and all that, and walking up and down the street in Texas. Well, they were talking, and yeah, Duke ain't none of them qualified, ain't none of them gonna do nothing, and this and that and this. Well, Snapping Turtle and Craig got up there and say, "Hey, tell us the location, and we can pull up now." And he was saying, "Nah, we could do it tomorrow." They were saying, "Why you was talking about how you was telling people to pull up, walking them down the street? We telling you right now, tomorrow at 11:11." And I don't think he realized that he was saying that him and this girl is supposed to be doing a live together. I think he's going to be introducing her to YouTube, a new character unlocked. And he said they live was going to be at 11:11. So are you going to go live with the lady at the meeting place where y'all guys supposed to be pulling up to do whatever y'all supposed to do? I'm just asking because you got two appointments tomorrow at 11:11. Well, that would be today. That was today at 11:11. So it didn't nothing happen because I was moving around the streets at 11:11 a day. So I don't know if Duke did his show, but I will look and see. But Craig them supposed to be meeting you down on some street. Y'all had all made an agreement. And y'all was supposed to be met up today at 11:11. So I'm guessing it didn't happen because, like I said, I didn't go live till late. Um, I'm gonna wait a minute before I get to that part. Okay, now I think the lady that he was supposed to have on his show is it's a lady that was on SD show the other day, and I will talk about that when I get to SD to his notes. Okay, let me go back. Sure. Okay. Let me see. Sometime when I be, I told you how this thing be moving slow. It's kind of sensitive. When I touch it, it'll scroll too far. Okay. Okay, now audio. Um, he did a live, and I just stayed in the class. I didn't watch the whole live. Like on some of the new people that I go to, I have to get used to how they talk and stuff because if I kind of lose interest, and I kind of lost interest in his commentary. I'm gonna have to get used to his voice. So, like I said, I couldn't sit. I sit through for about 15 minutes of his live, and I had to go. I was in, I can't do this. He'll be one that I have to red ball, not actually sit in the live while it's live. Let the live go. You know, catch it later on. Because sitting with him live, I couldn't do that. So that's why I left his live. But he said that he was under attack. Um, and he said he had drug Duke over there at Pizarro's, and he said that Duke had an etch a sketch face. And he said that him and Ken been into it, and he said that Ken was Sonny. He thought that Ken was Sonny's gay best friend. He didn't know he called himself Sonny Man. Uh, and he called him a midget nigga, you know, because Ken is short, and he called him a midget nigga. He said that Peace will sit on her fat ass all day. And he said that he heard that Peace will have a gambling problem. And he said that she's a follower, that she followed behind J Don. And she said that Peace will need to get a man of her own. That's what he said. Now, like I said, I don't know what the rest of his live was about because I couldn't sit there. I just couldn't. Okay. And Rob Rack out of jail. I made sure I went through there to see if he was out. Now I don't believe him and Janet are in the same location. I don't think she's went out there yet because when they was on live, he seemed to be by himself in a motel, and she was on the black screen, so she wasn't in that room with him. And he did like 3 lives. I read ball through each one of them. He started back. He's back drinking, and he just got out. So he's a grown man. He can do what he want to do. He's gained weight. He's looked like his skin is darker. Now the living arrangement, like his room that he seemed to be in right now, is better than what he was doing before he left and went to jail. It seemed like a nicer place, nicer. It looks nice. Okay, it's not gonna be the best, but it beat what he was living in before he got locked up. He said something about his jewelry, so I don't know about that. And he said something about $25,000 and a lawyer. Now that's all I know, because like I said, I didn't sit through the whole line. I was just red balling. And he was talking about Octavius, and Octavius wound up hitting the pound. I wasn't really interested, but I don't know who I will end up there on 3 lives, but I was just red balling through it and to see if he got sloppy drunk. You see what I'm saying? That's what I mainly want to see. and I wanted to see if he was drinking, and he is drinking, and sometimes he sound like he learned something, and sometimes he sound like he did. Okay, he seemed to think that people were turning him in for doing all that threatening because he was still threatening the prosecutors, he was still threatening the judges, and all that kind of bullshit. The way he's telling it now is that people was splicing and putting stuff together. But man, you was doing lives and you was talking real reckless, you know, about the police and their badge numbers and all that kind of shit. And you cannot be doing that. And if you do that again, somebody's gonna turn you in again. Now, the way you was talking, it seemed that you seem to think that they are monitoring your YouTube. And Rob, since you act like know that they monitoring your YouTube, if you come on here threatening the judges and the prosecutors and them police, they're gonna lock your ass right back up. Because you know what you gotta do if you on paper, which everybody know you is. And you know how these folks is that on YouTube, they'll smile in your face and send that shit straight to that judge or the PO. And you could do it the easy way or you could do it the hard way. The hard way is not working out for you too well. And if YouTube is too much for you, you need to log off this app and find you something else to do. Because you was doing something before before you ever logged on. Unless you want to keep going to jail. It's either you be on here and not threatening and then have a good little time, or either you can start back to threatening shit you was doing, which you threatened Tracy 1,000 times. She just didn't turn your ass in. Because if she wanted to, you could have been locked up way before you got locked up. And it's other people you threatening on here. So hopefully you don't threaten and stuff and you enjoy your YouTube journey. And I think that your followers will come back because you got your own crowd. But just settle down on the threats and stuff. And don't be threatening kids and stuff like that. You was doing that, because some people over in the conscious community, that's how I found out you was threatening that child before you got locked up, and the horrible things you were saying against that child sexually. And that lady, I can't think of what her name, Queen Vibes or whatever. Several of the people over in the conscious sector had the shit on their child. And they were putting the word out. Y'all listen to how he talking. Y'all turn him in. They were doing videos like that, Rob. How you was talking about what you were going to do to that child. And so if you do stuff like that again, they're going to lock you up again. I don't know if it was over the judge threats, the police threats, the PO threats, or I don't know if it was the injury that you was talking about doing to the child sexually. But out of them folks, they all bad. That's not a good look for a man your age, a grandfather. It's not a good look. If you can't control yourself no better, they're gonna lock your ass right back up. That's all I got to say about it. You ain't put your hands on nobody. It's the words you use. Cause it ain't like you're gonna big old fighter because you stay too drunk to fight. All you can do is cuss. And ain't nobody going to jail to hit for whooping on you. When they could just send the damn videos of you threatening, that's whooping you enough. Having you locked up in jail where you can't do what you want to do. You can't walk the earth like a free person. They just lock you up like a wild animal, and it's the cost of your mouth. And maybe you'll get it this time because you didn't get it the last 2 times. Maybe it'll sink in this time. And ain't nobody fault but your own. You that blaming people. Like I said, if the other people was in the wrong, they would have got locked up. You was in the wrong. You the only one wound up getting locked up. So you was the one in the wrong. The rest of the people, they still walking the earth freely. Maybe you'll learn this time. And that's enough for Robert Rack. Okay. Let me see. He was calling Octavius a weirdo. He was saying stuff about Kiki, you know, Kiki, his lady. And he was saying, so what if Janet effed New Era King? He say he don't care. But I believe he do, because that hurt him. But we'll see how that thing go. Janet is happy, and hopefully they relationship work out because she is like so happy that he's out. And she would be so happy when they would talk in jail. Because she loved Rob. You know? Can't help who you love. Now this is some gossip I got, and I was saying, whoa. Well, I told you guys that Chanel had her baby and she had a little girl. Well, you know how these folks out here in the YouTube sphere, they was trying to calculate because come to find out, I did not know this, but her husband had been locked up in prison. I don't know what he done. I guess he did a violation or something. Well, I know over there was some of the people over in the Mo 3 beef sector, they were trying to calculate her baby delivery date. And some of them were saying that she had a baby at like 6 months or some kind of months, like had an early baby. Well, she was saying my baby was full term. I carried my child 9 months, and she is very healthy and happy. Child, yeah, I have to come close. Let me tell you this here, child. The reason they was calculating her husband's release date from prison, and the reason they were saying that the baby was a preemie, is because when she conceived the child, he was locked up, would be a full term baby. Well, she said that she did have sex while he was gone, and the sex created a baby. When he got out, she was pregnant. She had to tell him, "Hey, man, you gonna stay with me, or you gonna divorce me? What are you gonna do?" Well, he chose to stay with her, and he seemed to be very attentive to the baby because sometimes when she on lamb, she'll tell him to feed her. She'll tell him to burp her and stuff like that. Well, honey's supposed to be the baby daddy is a UPS man. He worked for the UPS. And she say that man gonna pay her child support, and she say that her husband gonna be a daddy to that baby. That baby gonna have two dads. And I was saying, shut your mouth and keep on talking. Okay, okay. And like her husband was not being a husband to her while he was locked up. Maybe she got lonely. I'm not judging her. But I think that her husband, if he choose to take care of this baby, that's on him. You know, it is what it is. Hey, Angela T. White. Sure. And so I guess she did that, came out with all of that. So they'll quit saying that that baby was premature. She said her baby was a full term baby, come here healthy, and the baby seemed happy. And Carlos be feeding the baby. Carlos spends time with that baby, but he didn't burp the baby right, and so she had to go get the baby and burp her right. Because the mama gonna know how to do stuff better than the daddy. It is what it is. So, and I thought that was pretty neat, and it's good that he accepting her. and he accepted the baby. Hey, I'm that messy. I'm that messy. I'm being messy right now, child. Okay, now I'm gonna start back talking regular. Okay, shy. Ooh, shy. Hey, see, you hear me? Chanel, honey, you got more balls than I got. I'd have been a nervous wreck, girl. I want to know how I would tell my husband, but I would have had to tell him. You come out of prison and I got a big old belly. Me as well, like they say, pull the band-aid on off. Don't half take it off, just jerk it off. And that's what I wish that Duck would have did with the Nurse Cree thing. Instead of it trying to build up, build up, build up, just you should have just went on and said everything. Pull the band-aid off. Okay? Because you still got to deal with the consequences. I don't care if you pull it off today or next year. But that pulling out, it hurt. No, just go and pull it out real fast, let the hurt get on way and deal with the consequences. Okay? Now, I know it's hard, but sometimes I think it's best. Well, I can't tell nobody what to do. Okay? But the band-aid got pulled off anyway, so. And Jackie, honey, she been out here, she been dragging, she been fighting and everything. And Doug be trying to go up there to get her. Why? What is you doing? Why are you up here arguing? This ain't gonna make everything no better. He be talking like that, and Jackie still be cussing, and I don't blame her. Or she'll shut up for a few minutes, and then she jump back in the fight, honey. And I don't see nothing wrong with that. You know, you get tired of getting picked on. Okay. Sometimes you gotta fight back. Being quiet don't help. Okay. Some people don't know when to leave well enough alone. And some people love them when you don't say nothing so they can keep on. Okay? Yeah, she got a little girl. Yeah. She said it's full term. She I, as soon as she said about the baby, cause she she let us know she was pregnant. And then she stayed on here for a little while after that, dragging and stuff. But then she was saying, "Hey, I'm gonna get off here because I want my baby to be healthy and everything, and I want And so she just quit YouTube and period. And then she popped back out, and she said she had the little girl, and that she was healthy and all of that, and you know, it is what it is, child. But like I said, like the ladies over in the Mo3 beef sector, a lot of those are younger ladies. They are still having babies. But like over here in the beef sector, we don't have so many women being pregnant because we have an older crowd. Now has been some girls over here in the beef sector that have had babies, and some like one of them I think got twins. So the people over here, they are still some of them are still baby making age, but a lot of the women over here are older. But you hear more baby noises over in the Mo3 beef sector, you know, in the background. You don't hear that so much over here in the beef sector. But that's just the only difference. And like in the black sector, you don't hear a lot of babies over in the black sector. But in the Mo3 sector, you be hearing the babies crying, you be hearing them fight, you be hearing happy, eating. You hear every emotional a baby could go through, or a toddler, or school age kids, teens. You hear all that over there in the Mo3 beef sector. That's one thing that's different than the beef sector. Okay. Which I ain't got no problem with hearing kids in the background, cause you sometimes y'all hear my little grandbaby, my little great grandbaby. Okay. Now, child. Now, the reason I named this video what I named it, this is why, okay? And I named this, woo, child. How many goodbyes do it take to say goodbye? Y'all know how people say, I'm putting YouTube out, this is my last video, and all that kind of bullshit. And I'm going to wherever the YouTube people don't go anymore. And I'm not ever coming back here. But child, I got a professional on here. And I hate to say this about my dude, because I like my dude, the captain. The captain have gotten into a routine of saying it's my last live. I'm going away to Never Never Land where you don't go to YouTube anymore. I'm not gonna be doing this dragging shit no more. I'm gonna change my ways. I'm gonna go a whole nother direction. Now I might be back, but it ain't gonna be on that bullshit. Okay? It's gonna be on positive peace and positivity and all that bullshit. And I love listening to him talk like that. But Captain, as long as you see in them clouds, this shit going on over there in that Mo 3B sector all the time, okay? You gonna keep on hitting that live button. I love it. Do you hear me? Now, child, he showed out so bad last week when he came back. They took the ship. The ship has sunk, honey. It's at the bottom of the ocean. Now we're on, I don't know if we're on a submarine or what we on, because you know he got a submarine, a battleship. So we still got some shit out there, okay? But as far as that ship go, he said that ship is through. And it's a lot of people that don't like the captain. There's a lot of people over in the Mo 3B sector that are cheering and they are so happy. And they're using that as a drag against the shipmates and all of that bullshit. Okay? And I'm getting my life. Well, the captain, when he was doing his last Bon Voyage, he said that he was throwing around the idea of doing a podcast with Jackie and Big Baby. He showed us the flyer and everything, child. He's sitting in between the two ladies. Well, he said, well, that's what we was gonna do, but I'm just tired of you two. I ain't gonna be doing this no more. Now y'all will see me sometime in the chats and things like that, but for being on this bullshit, I ain't gonna be on this bullshit. Well, a day or two later, Big Baby was telling people, y'all join us on my podcast and this and that. Okay. So you can kind of take it stuff with a grain of salt. The captain ain't going nowhere. The captain love YouTube. Okay. I believe that he is going to go to doing the spiritual lives because those, he had a lot of people that he had, on that, the positive things. A lot of the people that he had, that's how they wanted to hear, the church music and him praying, and, just happy thoughts and dancing and just acting, they don't really like to see him dragging and cussing and stuff. So maybe for his channels that he might could do that and then like go with the Big Baby's deal sometime and do the podcast. I don't know how he gonna do it because he's kind of torn. And like I said, I believe he's being called to preach because to me he's acting like that. You having a tug of war or what you need to do and what you don't need to do. And what you feel is doing that you're doing is wrong. That you got to stop this to get closer to God or get closer to where you want to go. And to me, that's what he's like in a turmoil of right now. But as long as he hit that live button and go live, I'm gonna go over there. I don't care if it's church music or riding horses or riding a scooter, whatever he want to do. Jumping in the mud because he have done live jumping in the mud with cowboy boots on and overall. He's a fun guy. So whichever way the wind blow with him, I'll be there. You know, but yeah, he got struck, and but he got a whole bunch of channels. Because he gets his thousand and monetized real quick. So hopefully, like he can maybe appeal some of the strikes that was on the ship because the ship is the main place that we'd like to be at. But if he don't want to try to get it back, I ain't mad at him because I know he got so many other avenues that other people don't have. Like if they get struck out, they just kind of trip. He ain't tripping because he got too many other channels. He got too many bad ups. Um, so let me get to the notes again. All righty. Um, okay, so he came out. The captain did. And on his that live, Mink got bought down, but then she got bought back up, and it would take $75 to get her off the panel. Jackie got bought down, got bought back up, got bought down, got back up, and it would take $100 to get her down, and then somebody bought her down. Duck got bought down, bought back up. WAP got bought down. China bought down. Gina and her man together got bought down, and Mr. West got bought down. So the people that was on the panel that night was T Topics, King James, Jackie, Gina and her man, China, Callie's Kitchen, Duck, um, Mink. Okay, that's the people that was on the panel that night. He had a good show. Um, he always do have a good show, and Big Baby was up there too. Well, Gina and her man, they got into it with Big Baby, and they was dragging at her man about being with Gina because they were calling her a drug addict. She do this and she do that, and he was saying, "Baby, my baby don't do that. Y'all ain't know what you talking about. That my baby don't do no drugs. My baby don't do nothing." And they was calling him and her a dope fiend. And he was saying they were gonna take over YouTube. They're gonna be the next best thing, honey. And then he started talking nasty. He started talking about he eat pussy and ass. And when they was asking him what kind of content are you gonna have on your channel, and he was saying working out and playing games. And then they was talking about all the acts that they did over there on DGs for money. And he was saying, "Hey, I made $90." Okay, let me scoot it down. Yeah, he said he made a lot of money on honey. Okay, all right. And Duck said that the man was eating whipped cream out of her pussy and ass, and he ate a Twizzler out of her ass. And the man was saying, "What's wrong with eating ass?" Y'all, it's some nasty people on here. Duck and Gina got into it, and Duck told him that she'll eat anybody ass for $30. And then he also asked the man, "Why come you ain't at work?" Callie Kitchen and Gina got into it, and that's when Callie Kitchen was the way I found out that Gina was saying that she was pregnant by out of your body. Cause she the one said it, child, and I didn't know it. And see when he was going by her, when he was be on his live and talking about Gina, it was just like they was cool. Yeah, me and her rode to the casino together, and me and her this and that, and she was doing the same thing. Yeah, me and him, yeah. We ain't doing nothing. We ain't having no sex. We just like being around each other, going to the casino, doing stuff like that. But we all knew they was effing. Long as he been on YouTube, that man been on out of your body been over there before I was even going over the Mo 3 beef set. He ain't never been want to take Gina to no casino. So evidently they live kind of close to each other, you know. Sure. Okay, Mink and Duck got into it. Okay, now that was it for that. All right, and then I went by Rodney's one day. This been a couple of days ago, and he was dragging little Mama Obama. And I didn't know he didn't like her, but honey, he did not like her at all. And I was saying, huh. And Lady Sparkles and Ness got into it. I think that was at Lemons. And then when I went over to Lemons one night, I was in the clouds for a while, and then I dropped down and spoke. And then somebody was saying something about somebody named Jaded Heart had said something about me. I don't know this person, Jaded Heart, and I wonder what they saying about me. But I didn't hit the phone to try to find out what Jaded Heart wanted or anything. But I did add Jaded Heart in the chat to see if she was in there, and she wasn't in there. She was not in the chat when I was in there. Because I was going to ask her, hey, let's hit the panel and see what the hell going on. I don't know what she was talking about. So I don't know if it was good. I don't know if it was bad. You know, didn't nobody never say. But I would like for Jaded Heart, if they ever see me in the chat, let me know what's going on. And then that's the night that Mr. West had his camera slip. Yeah, I don't know what Jaded Heart wanted or what Jaded Heart was talking about. And that was one of them lab. I don't think I read about that one back. I think it must have slipped my mind for me not to go back to try to find out what it had to slip my mind. Because sometimes I don't read about it back. I just thought like when I come in late, I don't read about it back. I just started watching it. But sometimes I read about it back. 9 times out of 10, I read about it back. But that's one I didn't read about back. And if somebody in the chat know what Jaded Heart wanted, could y'all put it in there? Child, SD did a live today, child. I went over to there. And Jackie, Isha, Candy, Duck, 88, Gina, Big Baby. They all wound up on the panel before it was over. It was a good live. trying to think that I read all that one back to the beginning. Because when I went in there, Isha and Candy was into it, and they was fighting like cats and dogs, child. And I got my life. You hear me? And then when it kind of died down, that's when I read about it, and I would just go so far and skip, you know. So I didn't really miss much. But okay, now when I read about it back, SD was telling Isha, I don't know why Isha his panel. Isha, now you know you got a husband. And I don't know why you hit SD panel, and I don't know why you let him hit your panel. Because you know he always say something nasty to you. Well, today was no exception. When you got up there on that panel, that man started talking about squirting and how you squirt and all the things that y'all had did together. And you sit up there and you were going back and forth with him, laughing and getting mad and fighting. He was talking about how you like to squirt, how you like to grip his dick. Uh, he said he fucked you 4 or 5 times in one night. And you were saying that he was lying, and you were saying he was saying you was lying. Um, then you said that he ate you on your period, and when he got through, he had blood on his shirt. See, that's nasty. Don't you married girl? You don't need to be talking like that with him. Whatever y'all did, that was before you and your husband time. I don't think it's respectful to talk like that. That is just ain't no anywhere like talk like that if I had a husband. Mm-mm. Not on the World Wide Web. And then her husband be on in the clouds a lot. And somebody gonna tell him. They gonna make sure they tell him because they like to make him look bad. What y'all was talking about fucking and sucking. He was talking about how you was sucking his dick, and you was talking about how he was eating your pussy on your period. And some people ain't got good goddamn sense on here. Okay. And people was got like this. It's not, well, no, look. Uh, Isha got tired. I mean, Candy got tired of hearing it, and she hit the panel and she started calling you all kind of nasty bitches. And uh, she was saying, "Oh look, oh look, oh look." She was talking about my granddaughter and my great grandbaby. I got my dope closed. I don't want them to hear me talking like I'm talking. Wait a minute, I got lost. Oh, and Isha, remember I told you guys about her and 88 meeting up to fight? Well, 88 was pulling her braids out and it pulled like her hair out at the roots. And 80 Candy was saying that 88 almost scalped her. And then she pulled her edges all out. And she was telling her to show her edges. And she said that 88 tried to like to pull all of her out, make her bald. But see, she had fought her and had them braids in. And 88, whatever her hands got on, she was pulling and tugging and all of that girl. Y'all, she woo. When that Isha showed, when she got home and showed the effects of the fight, she had like chunks of hair pulled out from her scalp. She had bite marks because she is really yellow. She was black and blue. Okay. And I was saying, damn. Well, Isha said her edges grow back, and she called Candy a pussy selling hoe because you know Pat Candy is a prostitute. And Gina jumped up there. Wait, wait a minute. And Gina got up there and she told Isha, because she jumped in, jumped on Isha, and she said that she moved one man out, like when she moved the captain out, then she moved her husband back in. And she was like she just like got a revolving door. Like you move one out today, you move one in tonight. She was making it sound like that. Which Isha kind of was doing that with the captain and her husband. Um, and Isha said that Gina was glad that she got her a young nigga. And Jackie and Candy got into it. And Jackie was telling Candy to pull up on her, like right now, like she did 88. She wanted Candy to pull up, and meet up with her somewhere so they could settle whatever they had going on. She wanted to fight. And Candy said that she wasn't gonna pull up, but she wanted Jackie like to pull up at her place. And Jackie said, I ain't pulling up at your place. Let's meet up, like out in the street somewhere. And Candy one time she wouldn't want to meet up like that. Which I don't blame Jackie. I wouldn't never go to nobody's house. Um and she said Jackie was saying, I dare you to pull up with your scary ass. You ain't gonna pull up. And she was saying with her no fighting ass. She was saying she's a whore, not a fighter. And she was calling her a fat ass bitch, a oompa loompa ass bitch. And she was saying, asking her how much money she could show with a big fat broke ass, a big fat bro, a big fat funky bitch. And she was saying, how you paying a nigga? And then he turned around and he dragged your fat funky ass because she be breaking MHB off hundreds, honey. She like to see her name up on that screen when she be getting them hundreds. I seen it too. And as soon as she got through giving him all that money, he would drag shit out of her. And she stay gone a little while, and then she go right back over there and give him some more money. I don't know what kind of hypnotized he got on her. And then you going out there selling your ussy and then giving your man money to just a nigga. Ain't no way. Uh, Jackie was calling her a motel living bitch. Uh, and Jackie was saying that they are not kin because she always say her and 88 kin. That Candy do, and she said that they is not kin. She said that she's a fan, not a she a fan, not family. And she said to quit lying like they kinfolk. And she said she's a nasty, fat, funky asshole. a hotel living hoe, a $40 pussy selling hoe, and she was saying she was slow as molasses. And Candy was telling Jackie she was a little boy shaped hoe, and she said she was selling CPNs and she's committing tax fraud, asshole. And Jackie was telling her Candy to show her house, and Candy's she turned the camera on, but she was like showing the ceiling, and she was telling her, "Who is them people in the background, bitch? That ain't your house. You visiting somebody? You showing walking out through their house." And then Candy went outside and started talking, and she was talking about what kind of car Jackie drove. And Jackie told her she was driving a 2023 Kia that was paid for. And Jackie was laughing and talking about her driving a Kia. And Jack was calling her a fake designer t-shirt wearing bitch. And she said she would rather be selling CPNs than pussy. That's what Jackie said. She called Candy a back page pussy selling hoe. And she called her a hungry ass hoe. And then she started asking her, what we doing? What we doing? What you ready to do this? Like pull up. Okay. And Jackie say she ain't gotta sit on no dicks to make money, to make no money. And Jack Candy was saying Jackie was living out of her car hole, and she said that she'll call that place she living, and she'll find herself homeless again. And she said with that Back to the Future car you driving, and that you need to get yourself together. That's what she telling Jackie. And she said that she'll have that you keep messing with her, she'll have you looking for somewhere else to live again. And Candy said that she had a 2011 Lexus, and Jackie said show it, and she showed a Nissan, y'all. And she said you lying about your car. Now you said you had a Lexus, bitch, but you showed a Nissan. That Nissan ain't yours. I was hard, child. Them they was going at it now. And she told Candy that she need to get out in the sun because she was looking dead. And Candy said she'd rather sell her pussy than give it away. And she told Jackie that Jay whoop your ass, bitch. And she called Jackie stupid and pathetic. Okay. And then 88 hit the link. I guess somebody got in touch with 88 because see they had Candy had mentioned her name earlier in the live about saying how she pulled Isha her out. When 88 hit the link, she wanted to know what's going on and why y'all into it. And SD got y'all over here acting a fool. And then SD he cussed 88 out. and dropped her and said, "Bitch, you didn't. Why you gonna say I got them into it? I ain't got these women into it. These women into it on their own. I ain't been jumping in. Don't tell me I would get in and say, why come y'all are into it? I didn't know y'all was into it because he kept saying that over and over and over. When each couple of women got to fighting, he would ask, I didn't know y'all was into it. What y'all into it? You know, and they were not listening to him. They was just dragging, okay? Like Gina, Jackie, Isha, Candy, they were just dragged. He didn't have no control over that. But 88 got up there and they could make it sound like he had something to do with it. And he got mad and cussed her out. And then he let her come back up. And, they would get into it. Then he throw her back down. And I got tired of that. And I exited the stage. Left us exit the stage, right? Okay. Okay. And a couple of days before, now this was the day on the SDs. A couple of days ago, I don't know if it was yesterday or day before, he had a live. It was Gina on the panel, Duke, Brown Beauty, Rose, Justin, Coolin, Jackie. Okay. Now on that live, now this one, Duke came on there. Well, I'm gonna tell you now. First thing happened was that as people was getting in the live, coming into the chat, SD he was talking and had his music playing, and honey, he looked down there and he seen Ghetto Intellect, and he told him to get the F out of my chat. I don't F with you, and honey, he was going out. Now that happened to Ghetto a couple of times over there in the Mo3 beef sector in the last couple of days. Some reason they don't F with him, okay? I don't know what happened, but it's a couple of content creators over there that I've noticed when he dropped in their chat, they throwing it straight out. Or if he try to hit the panel, they be saying, you ain't coming up here. They doing him like that. And Ghetto, if you don't be careful, the way you talking to these ladies over here in the beef sector, how you talk to K Fit the other night. Now I don't know much about K Fit, I really don't. But he had no right to talk to that lady like he did over there at Lemons the other night. He acted a motherfucking fool. And why he don't have no goddamn smoke with these men like that, I ain't never heard him talk to no man like the way he talked to K Fit the other night. And all the woman did, now this is what everybody in the TV land said. The only thing the woman did was drop in the chat and start speaking to people. And Binary said something about her and with them like her, or I think this other girl, I can't think of her name right now. And it went from there. And I mean, Ghetto was cussing that woman out. And then when K Fit got on the panel, he got even more louder, talking that lady crazy. And that man, and Lemon, that is wrong. Now ain't nothing wrong with them going back and forth. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But we see it every day in the beef set. But somebody be going out their mind like that on a lady that's from the beef sector, that ain't good. Especially if the woman ain't said nothing to him. Why she got to be getting screamed at the top of your voice like Ghetto was doing her? Completely out of line. Completely out of line. They're getting too comfortable. He wasn't doing them women over there in the black sector like that. That's where he from. He wasn't doing them people over there, them women over there that Mo3 sector like that. But he got enough nerve to do the women over here in the beef sector like that. There's something bad wrong with this picture. Now, ladies of the beef sector, if he conduct himself like that again, that bout pound need to be full of women fighting each other to get up there to get at his ass. and demasculated. The way these women tongues is over here, it's no use of nobody coming over here talking to anybody like that. Somebody need to stand up when shit like that happens. Because he get away with it once, he'll do it again. And now he's sitting his ass down in the chats, avoiding the panel. You know, Lemon taking the heat. He taking the heat for him and Bayonet. And then Lemon, you falls into it when them they act ugly. You falls into it with them. Because then you saying something about her ass and shit. It wasn't a good look. You know. And then, like I say, everybody over in the beach said all the women saying you running over there King over to King Rum with your tail tucked between your legs. You know, it is what it is. Do what you want to do. I don't give a fuck. Okay. All right. Well, at SD's, Duke hit his link, and when he hit the link, he said that he had somebody that was gonna come over there and hit the link with him. And I didn't know what was going on, so I was just sitting there. And it was a lady that came on. You know how people will come on, which I don't like when this happened. Like a person that had never been on the screen before on this panel, whatever panel it is, because I've seen this happen on other panels. Like if I bring somebody on the panel, I just say me. But when the camera come on to person, they start talking about calling them ugly, talking about their teeth, talking about their hair, doing that, calling them bitches and all that kind of stuff. Well, that happened over there at SD's. And SD them was the ones that did it. Was talking to the girl had ugly hair, talking about, oh, she ugly and all this kind of stuff. And then SD, look at that bitch and all that kind of stuff. Now this for the person even get introduced. So that's all this person is hearing, as their welcome. Well, after it settled down, then SD started talking like he had some sense to the lady, and then he was like grilling her, asking her questions because she was supposed to be from an area he's supposed to be from in Texas. Well, when the woman started really talking to him, come to find out, they do know some of the same people, and the people that she know are like his ops. When he asked her about some guy, she said, "Oh, I used to date him. I got his name tatted on my chest." And DNSD was like, "Oh, whoa, damn," and this and that. And so I think him and the woman and Duke, when all the woman left, and I think Duke was still up there. And SD was like, "Duke, man, I can't believe you did that." And Duke, they're my ops, and they was at me for years and years ago, and I can't believe you did this to me. And he just kept saying, "I can't, you trying to get me killed. I can't believe you did this to me." And I was saying, "What the fuck?" And so, to make a long story short, the people that she know don't like SD. These are like enemies he's had years ago, and I'm in my corner, you in your corner. We don't be around each other. Everything done died down. But while the woman was on the panel, I guess these people that she know, somebody she know, was observing YouTube. And they were studying hitting her phone up regarding SD and trying to figure out why he talking to you like this and this and that. Girl, it got to be the biggest goddamn mess. You hear me? So SD was like, it was like the wind was knocked out of him when that situation all the way kind of unfolded. So I didn't go over to Dukes to see what happened. I ain't gonna talk about this a whole lot because I ain't in that shit. But these people get on this internet, they talk all that bullshit, but then when the heat come down on them, then they want to cry and get scared. See, I ain't got time for that. That ain't my life. you know. But I will be watching it like I'm doing now, and I'll tell y'all about it. But sure. But real life do roll over into YouTube. Okay, let me see what else. And then SD was saying that he was so angry he wanted to cry. Well, if that woman and them people is like you say they is, you gonna be crying. Now I'm through with that. Now Big Lack and Captain, they got a good relationship. And so a lot of times Big Lack will go live and the captain will go live. And the captain like send traffic over to his channel, trying to get his sub mount up, which I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. Well, a lot of times when captain go off, instead of instead of taking the video down or whatever he do, he'll let the captain replay it and other people over there that he cool with. And Broadway do the same thing. They do that over there. And so far, I don't see it's been a problem with striking and stuff because some of these people low down, which we've been seeing over here in the beach, say there are people that you use their shit, then they go strike you, okay? They might strike you 6 months from now. Well, right now they got a relationship where he letting Lack play his stuff, which is getting him more traffic over there, more subscribers and all of that. It's a win-win for both of them. Okay. Well, um, let me see. What on one of his lives, they were discussing the mink and the nurse Cree thing. The nurse K, which some people call Nurse Cree, and like that. And now her name on her channel is Nope, Nope. Well, they were discussing that, about Mink telling about Duke and Nurse K meeting up and all of that. Cause that story to me, it went too long to get all the way out. This shit started back in September. You would hear something, then it would go away. Then you hear something a couple of more weeks later, then you'd go away. Then you hear, it was just dribbled out. When this shit should have been out a long time ago about ducking the woman hooking up. I don't think that it should have came out, but they just had a fling. To me, that's a one night stand. So they didn't hook up again, as far as I know. But hell, the way these folks is on here, you never know. Um, Nurse Cree. Okay, I think it was at BIM. Yeah. Um, Somebody asked me on the panel, you and Nurse Cree into it? And everybody ears perked up then. And she was saying no. Well, what happened was Nurse Cree had did a live cussing me out. That live is gone. I went to try to find it. I couldn't find it. Now, it was gone when I was looking for it. Uh, but then after she did that live. So I think she took that live down. Like some people make them live that cuss, do a lot of cussing on them, then the live will disappear. That was one of those kind of live. Because they said that when Mink went live, she wound up in Mink's chat, Nurse K. So evidently it wasn't too bad. She didn't mean all them bitches she called her because she took the live down. Well, Mink, they say that when Mink was live, she was saying she didn't know why they, what was going on and this and that. So I don't know what's going on with them two. I don't know if they cool. I don't know if they not cool or what. But I'm gonna tell you what happened today over there at Cooling. Now I'm over there. Now wait a minute before I go over there. Now see, Mink is the one that put Nurse K and Duke. Duck situation out there about them having sex in 3 minutes. That I got it on. I recorded it and all that kind of stuff. Well, child. Now everybody thinking that Nurse K did that for me, for be cool with me. Guess what come out over there cooling today? And my mouth is off low. Polar, that guy Polar I told you guys about. I don't know a whole lot about him, but he's supposed to be one of the founders of the Mo 3 sector, the Mo 3V sector. Which he was talking that shit. And he was dragging Duck and he was dragging Broadway. Calling them Arkansas boys, telling them that they ain't got shit but YouTube and they was dumb and all that kind of shit. That nigga let it be known that he the one sent Nurse K on that suicide mission to get Duck some. Do y'all hear me? He the one sent Nurse K, Nurse Creek to Duck. Ain't that some damn? I was like, what? I thought Mink sent her to Duck. And he was saying that Nurse K, he had it first, and all it was bad. And I was saying, Nurse K, you that weak? My mouth flew wide open. I was like, and I put in there the chat. So Mink didn't send her. He sent her. And he was talking about like he had people up in Broadway, them camp, all that kind of shit. I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing. I can't believe people are that crazy to go have sex with somebody for somebody else. My head was just spent. And then Cooling played over there on her live today. On the same live, she played Polar. When she played Polar last, and then she had played some of Cam talked too much live. And Cam was going off, and then Mahaya wound up going on up there, and it was the biggest damn mess. And I was saying, damn, it was a mess. And Cam was telling Mahaya he liked to be in fuck shit and all that kind of stuff. And Mahaya was saying, man, you the one do fuck shit because you're doing fuck shit now. You know, hell, I ain't been bothering you. I don't be looking at you. You the one be acting up. You the one be wanting attention. You the one. What are you doing? And my hair was just a little boy in it. And I think it was a mess. And here you have to go to coolers because like on me, it filled in some spaces that I didn't know. Okay, because like I said, I'm late. I was late getting over in the Mo3B sector. I stayed in the clouds for a year, tried to learn the main characters over there. Then I dropped down. And by being over there, like way I be over there, I'm learning more and more about, the issues they have with each other. Like getting the real people that's have the problem with each other on the panel, to discuss things that happen to make their relationship fracture. And I'm still learning a lot. And I still gotta have a lot to learn over there in that sector. That's why I don't get up and be like trying to pick no sides and all of that. I try to do commentary and I try to be as fair as possible and get both sides of it. Now I may sway to the left a little bit or to the right at times, but I try to let you guys know exactly what I heard and what I seen out here moving around in the YouTube street. I actually do better reporting on they stuff in the Mo3 beef sector because see, I don't know a lot of stuff and I have to get both sides. Like over here in the beef sector, sometimes I don't get to the other person live because I was there when they first got into it, like because I was here before the beef sector started. So I know I was there when they people got into it. I was there when whoever turned against who and why and all of that. But like over there, I don't know that. So I don't try to get into their business too tough. I'll tell you what I seen and heard, just like I'm telling you how that shit went on when I got to see it at Cooling. If I would have went to Coolings, I would have missed all of that. I would have missed the Polar saying he sent Cree to do that with Duck. If I would have missed that live, I'm still thinking that Cree did it because of Mink. But come to find out, Polar said it all. He said a lot of stuff concerning the Mo3 sector. And if it get discussed like at Broadways or Mahaya's or Bimps or Minks, or because I feel comfortable going to Minks and Eves and stuff. If they discussing it over there, I'll learn more. Or if it was any lies being told, I'll learn. But child, that shit come out today. And I was like, what? So you never know with this YouTube things as the YouTube turn. Okay. But he was dragging Nurse K too. He wasn't just dragging Duck and Duke. And then at the end of the thing, he's, she gonna always be my bitch. We cool and this and that, Oh, Lord, Jesus. All I could say is, But he was saying that he was gonna like make them lose everything and all of that. And then he was talking about how Broadway them be getting money and this and that and doing the same pocket watching that going on over here in the B sector. It all boiled down to money. And then it all boiled down to like ever since all this bullshit been going on with Duck and Nurse Free and Mink and Jackie, Broadway just stepped all the way off the board. Now he been dropping in some chats here and there, but like for us being on the panels and stuff like that, nope. He been chilling. Now I don't, and I heard he got struck too, but he done been off long enough to be back on, and plus he got another channel. Now he did clickbait the other day, act like he was gonna go live. He didn't go live. And I was waiting on him, but then I fell asleep. And when I woke up, I jumped up and I was like, oh, I missed Broadway live. But he hadn't been live, so I stayed over there at Bimps. And then see why I be being at Bimps yesterday when that stuff with Cam and Mahaya and Polar them was going on. I was at Bimps. See, I didn't know nothing about that until I went to Cooling today. And see, like I said, if you go and stay on these lives too long, You'll miss a whole lot. And see, I didn't move around after I went to Bimps. I just did a lazy, laying around, just stayed at Bimps. But yeah, whew, I'm trying to get through. Okay, now I went to Lemons, and that's when they had changed the date of the contest, the talent show, to the 7th of June. And on that panel that night, Lil Mama Obama, Mika, Binary, Ghetto, Pizza, Love, Lovely Love, Lolo, RNY, Tracy, Stargate, Beans and Cornbread, Lady Sparkles, Dragon, Tulsa, ZX, Nubiology, Queen Sanity, Trish, Pills, and Resto was on the panel. Good live. And I'm just gonna go over it briefly. Audio was into it with ZX, and he scored drew ZX again. Okay. And then something about a gay website and ZX. Now I don't know a whole bunch about that. Um and he was audio was telling him that he was slap ZX mama and he would slap his daughter across the face with his dick. Uh Trying to go through this real quick. And ZX would call him a little dick sucker, a faggot, and he was telling Tulsa to get his man talking about audio. And ZX ran again, but he came back and he asked audio where his daddy was at, and audio started dragging him some more, and he ran again. So ZX cannot deal with audio. Audio be dragging his ass, and he can't take it. He be speechless. And I love it. Okay, I went by Pastor's one day. Ness was into it with pizza, and she called him a rat. She called ZX a rat faced bastard, a old geezer, a bitch ass nigga, dusted no teeth nigga, a joke, and said that he cussed his mom out over food stamps. And she said he was a homosexual grandfather. And he called her an unfit bitch, bottom of the barrel, mother. And he said that she ain't got shit and she ain't gonna never have shit. He called her a trashy big bitch and a crackhead hoe. Okay, I went to the captain and Duck was out there. And that's when he went through Duck's messages and stuff. I think I talked about that with you guys. I went by Jackie's and slash Big Super. That's what she called herself. And she drugged the hell out of Mink. And she said that Mink was fanned out over a nigga. And she said that she was a effing a married man. And she said that if her and Duck ever do have sex, it'll be with a condom. And she sung that Roaches song. It's all about roaches. I like to hear her sing that. And she said that if she would have walked up in that bando and seen that there was roaches, she would have flew out of there. But she said she wasn't gonna never go in no bando. And she said that she jumped in that Nurse Creek jumped in her car, drove 3 hours there and drove 3 hours back for 3 minutes. And she said if a hoe ain't got no money to get a room, the bitch just ain't got no money. The bitch just broke. And she said that if there was a pregnancy, that you wouldn't have no money for a plan B. But you prove that by laying on the floor in a bando. Okay? Let me see. Uh, and they said they tried to do it in the car, but it just wouldn't work. And then they were saying that he had used a T-shirt for her to lay on, but it wasn't a T-shirt. Come to find out, a couple of lies and a couple of days later, after they said a T-shirt, they laid on a she laid on a white beater. I was saying, damn, you didn't even have a full T-shirt for you to lay on. Okay, this on another one of Captain's Let's Just Say Goodbye lives. This was another one that he had done. He had came live and Royalty and Meek was into it. And Royalty was also into it with King James. She was into it with Gina and Mr. West. Wu and Mr. West got into it, and Wu also got into it with Gina. Erica Kelly got up there and she was into it with Royalty. And Erica Kelly looked cute. She had blonde hair, like wavy, like a wedding wavy, kind of. And Pretty Trucker, no, I'm not used to that. That's another character I'm not used to. Her and Gina got into it, and she drove Gina so quick, honey, Gina flew, and I was hollering. I went by Octavius, and he said that he was through with Kiki. He said that he thought she was at work, but she wound up being on jumping on panels all over YouTube, and I guess somebody sent him over to Pizarro, and she was up there, and he said that she was like, you know, she wasn't just acting right, okay, and he was mad. Trying to see, wait a minute, it's Pete, okay, and he has struck allegedly. Now I don't know, but he supposed to have struck Pizza, and he's supposed to have struck Ken, and it was because of Kiki's daughter was supposed to be up on the screen. I don't know. I don't know nothing about what happened on that for him to be able to strike Pizza and Ken, but he was letting everybody know that he struck. Okay, and then he didn't like Kiki being up there drinking like she was drunk. They say. And then they say that she had a live and she had a bunch of men over there and they was talking like under her clothes. And he didn't like that either. But I wouldn't have liked that. But Octavius, you know how Kiki is. You're gonna take the bitter with the sweet. Cause as soon as she start drinking, she's gonna act out. And it is what it is, because I see y'all back together, you know, and that's all I got to say about that. But I do know you was upset because I was in your live and I seen, I heard everything you said. He was talking about there was heavy flirting going on. And he was saying he didn't have to take that kind of disrespect, that it was very disrespectful what Kiki was doing. Um, and then he started talking about Sonny had lost her monetization and her memberships. And he said he don't know who struck her. He said it wasn't him. But he was like really, he was just like hurt, which I've seen him hurt before. MHB called Duck's baby mother, and he was just all kind of stuff. And then the woman started saying stuff about Duck. Um, he was saying that he gave up their, the baby mama said that he picked YouTube over their relationship, and then that he let the girl know that Duck had sex in the bando, and the bando allegedly was the apartment that he lived with the baby mama. Duck lived with the baby mama at. And I was saying, dang. And the woman was talking about like getting a restraining order on Duck, and then she wanted to talk to Nurse Cree, who is Nurse K. So I don't know if her and Nurse K talk. I haven't been to Nurse K channel to see, because when I was typing Nurse K in, it wasn't coming up. But the day, like right before I came on, I got a notification. I got it from that Nope channel, NOPE. I had typed that in the other day and I couldn't pull it up. And I was putting Nurse K in, I couldn't pull it up. But like I said, I got a notification from that Nope channel. So I'm gonna go and watch what Nope had to say, which is Nurse K. And then I should be able to pull them old videos up that I missed. And I'll be able to tell you guys more about what happened on her side. Because like I said, I try to get as much as I can on both sides of the things that happen and why people into it, who did what. I want to hear both sides of it. Okay. So now I got, like I said, now I got a way back in on Nurse K, because that Note channel came up today, and I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna watch that stuff in case you decide to take them down. Was up there and Kiki was up pizza and audio, and Kiki was dragging pizza. And then Kiki told Pizza to come up there so they could sell whatever they had going. And so they were dragging each other back and forth. And in the meantime, on dragging, audio jumped in. You know, jumped in. So it was like, on Kiki's side against Pizza. Now, audio, you need to just sit back and let Kiki and her fight, because Kiki the one called her up there. And Kiki was holding her own against Pizarro. And the beef sector would like to see those two ladies be into it, doing that drag of each other. And you could have did yours after they got through. And we don't like that too much over here, especially with somebody that's not from here. Um, and wait a minute. And he was saying that Pizza was a piss poor mama. She was unfit for her kids, and her kids hate her. He called her dusty, musty, ugly ass hoe. And he said he bet that she's handsome in the face. And he said, I don't know how old PC is, but he said she was 33, and she looked like he bet she looked like she 50. And he said that he bet she is strong in the face. And he was like calling her ugly bitch. And he was telling her to cam up, and he was saying, "Look at Kiki, she's showing her face." Which Kiki do cam up. And he said that he'll have CPS coming to her house to take her kids. And he said he bet she stank. And he said, "Show your face, bitch." And he saying she a dirty, nasty, sad bitch. Ain't got nothing. And he said if she came up, he'll make her cry. And he was telling her to go get her husband. He said he want to talk to her husband. And he said he'll slap the hell out of her and her husband. He said we're gonna keep on striking her channel. Wait a minute. We'll come tomorrow. Hey, Pooh. Hold up, y'all. Hey, sweetie. You getting ready to go? Hold on, yeah. Let us stand here. I'll be off in a second, okay? Okay. Mom wants to go pick up her Walmart, so I'll be there. Okay. All right. Let me keep going. She done stripped out her clothes out, child. I'll put cocoa melon on when we get through. We'll eat some ice cream. Oh, and he showed a picture. Now, I don't know if this was the lady, but it was a lady, and he said it was Kiki's mom, Ken Nola. Um, and then he was telling her he said that she can't control Kiki. And then Kiki said she didn't have nothing to do with Pisa getting struck. And then Pisa said that Octavius, now I don't know, he had something that he had, Pisa said that he had something showing proof that she had sent him some information. Now, what it was, I don't know. I didn't get the gist of that, but I think it had something to do with when Kiki was on her panel, like the guys was flirting with her and she was flirty, and when the daughter was wound up on the picture some kind of way. But whatever Kiki had told Pizza, it was different than what Octavia said, and Octavia said he had proof of what Kiki, the explanation that Kiki sent to him, and he would show it. Okay. Okay, wait a minute. All right. And I think that's it. Okay, now when the next time I come on, because I'm not gonna get to this part because I'm getting ready to get off here so I can spend time with my Ganny. I call her Ganny, but I call all of them Ganny. My grandkids and my grandbaby. But I want to spend some time with her and eat some ice cream with her. And this the next thing that I'm going over when I come back the next time is I'm gonna let you guys know what they were saying out in the YouTube streets concerning the bando. And it's gonna have different people opinions of, I'm just writing down little notes of what people saying about the bando. And then other people are saying they have had sex in the bandos, before. Because that Danny lady last night on Bimp channel, she said she had sex in a bando before. So you never know. So I've been writing little things about what different people been saying. their experiences has been in a bando. Okay. And we'll talk about that next time. I was gonna go over there today, but like I said, my gate Granny here, and I want to spend some time with her. And I'm gonna get up out of here. Ooh, child. Hey, y'all, have y'all ever had sex in a bando? Ooh, child. Do you know somebody that had sex in a bando? Ooh, child. Hey, I'll tell you guys if I've ever had sex in a bando. I'll see you next time. Bye.